Hello, it's Ricardo and welcome back to Battlestar Galactica Deadlock. It's back, everybody, with Season 2. Season 2 is going to bring more battles, it's going to bring more ships, it's going to bring more functionality, and it's going to be entitled Resurrection. Now, I was involved with the beta. There's some beta testing for Slytherin and Black Lab games. Really good, really insightful as well of what's coming, and it's going to look absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed it, and the additions they're putting in really are, I think, game-changing in a way. Graphical overhaul, more functionality, like I mentioned as well. Multiple ships can be selected as opposed to just doing it in a micro fashion. So all good stuff to come. I'm really looking forward to it. It's coming out towards the end of the month. So what did we basically see? Well, in Season 1 we saw the birth of the colonial fleet all the way through to its demise and its disabandonment by Lucinda Kane, as the end of the betrayal of the Cobalt Alliance really cut deep into the colonials. The alliance of the 12 colonies was severed in two. I say Lucinda Kane disbanded the colonial fleet, and the Daedalus was abandoned as an empty husk left to drift around in the storm clouds of Ragnar, therefore becoming, we think, Ragnar Anchorage, as we saw in the Don Moore or the Ron Moore reimagination of Battlestar Galactica in the 2000s. Lachesis held true to its promise of a year-long ceasefire, with its foothold now in colonial space, but the minute the ceasefire expired, that's where we pick up with our colonial fleet and Season 2 of Battlestar Galactica Deadlock. Cylon forces are going to be invading the remaining two-thirds of the colonies, and the vicious ground war which is raging across Serana since. Rebellions are being formed early on Caprica and Tauron. Ex-soldiers, armed civilians formed underground resistances, and a fight against the insurgent war against the invading forces is going to happen. So what are we going to see? Well, it's going to be a space battle. I don't think we're going to be seeing anything around the point of having ground battles. You know, they're saying everyone's battle, really. Battlestar Galactica is going to be back as a Jupiter Mark II, which is going to be upgraded, and we've seen some of the stats on that, but that in the beta was such. It did lend a little bit to an extra squadron here or there, a bit more armour plating, but nothing drastic. There was no enhancements in speed. The Jupiter is still going to be a big old lumpy unit, should we say, about that. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the video, and then we're going to come back and talk about it. So let's just watch the official Slytherin video for Battlestar Galactica Deadlock Resurrection Season 2, and then talk about it after the video.
Escort clear zone intact.
Incoming!
Lords of Cobalt, watch over us.
Krista, I'm taking hits!
Your life is no longer yours to throw away.
Just give me one good shot. Strike!
Firing on target!
For colonial fleet, for the 12 colonies. Nothing but the rain.
All really good, exciting stuff. So what we hope to see in Battlestar Galactica Deadlock Resurrection? As we've mentioned, it marks the beginning of Season 2 and introduces a plethora, they say, of new features and content. 2 new ships, including the much-awaited Jupiter Mark II Battlestar, 2 new squadrons, and a new story campaign told from the CIC deck of Galacta itself. And like I've mentioned, I've had a look at the beta, and it does look great. They really have imagined it really well. The new story campaign, the new story kicks off Season 2 of Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, with face-to-face Cylon threats of old and new, a battle of side-by-side with the CIC crew of the Galactica and the rest of the fleet. You can play through 10 fully voiced story missions and 13 resource missions that can be scouted for intel before committing your resources and forces to these new additional conflicts. Features 4 new tracks from composer Ash Gibson Gregg and 2 new story cinematics, and the cast of both new and familiar voices to voice the voice acting. The new War Room. Ministry of Defense relies on Galactica to lead the counter-offensive against the Cylons, organise and command the BSG-75 from a meticulous reconstruction of the famous CIC on Galactica. It really does look fantastic. The Season 2 strategy layer has been revamped to get straight into the actions that matter, while the new Cylon threat mechanic measures your overall impact on the first Cylon War. Plus you've got things like veterancy that were brought in at the end with Sin and Sacrifice. All that additional content is still going to be there, but it's going to be enhanced upon. New ships, what are we going to see? So as I mentioned, the Jupiter-class Battlestar, we all know and love this. It's had a bit of an overhaul. The Galactica was crashed into Caprica at the end of Season 1. Of course, all the armour was stripped off. It's been completely refurbed and is back in the action. Okay, we've got that familiar look from the Ron Moore Battlestar Galactica, but the Cylons have not been idle either during that ceasefire. So what they're going to do, they got the Cylon commander began to exploit the raw firepower of the rare Cratus-class basestar. So a new basestar is coming in, which is an impressive old ship that's a mobile operational base. New squadrons, the Colonials have retrofitted an ancient fighter design with mysterious origin. Don't know about that. It's been dubbed the Taipan. These hardy fighters are heavy-hitting, anti-capital strike vehicles. We're going to have to wait and see. Didn't see any of those in the beta. They've been held back. While the Cylons have developed the Vespid, a swarm of dedicated bombers that will quickly close the distance and release high-yield explosive on their targets. Like I say, the beta was shaping up to look really good. There was no voice acting. It was very much voice-to-speech in that beta. The mechanic around multi-selecting vessels and launching fighters and firing on one particular point is really going to bring the full force of the colonial fleet to bear upon the Cylons. But of course the Cylons have got trickier as well. I'm really looking forward to it. Check back on this channel for videos of Battlestar Galactica Deadlock Season 2 Resurrection. It'll be released. Hopefully I'll get a pre-release copy like I did last time, so look out for those videos just before release as well. I've been Ricardo, thanks very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you've already done so, and let's all look forward to Battlestar Galactica. So say we all.